بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Welcome everybody to the Safina Society Nothing But Facts live stream. As some of you would remember, this is the old startup because we got the crew here, Alex and Saad and Muin. Or is it Sheikh Muin yet?
No,
Ustaz Muin, because he started studying, bro. He studies now. He went to Turkey. He finished a degree in Turkey. He finished an Arabic certification. Hanafi fiqh or no? Just Arabic?
Just Arabic.
Just Arabic with Sheikh
I'm
Snober?
not a sheikh.
Sheikh Snober.
Why are you speaking in English right now?
I'm nowhere close to a sheikh. I'm nothing.
So the old school people will remember that. And that's who we got today to bounce ideas off of and bounce our discussion off of. We're going to start with the dua. And then we're going to get straight to Israel breaking their pact already, because the Quran already told us they can never have a word except that they have to break it. They have to. And now they have an addiction to killing, and Netanyahu literally has to keep being at war essentially, or else he's going to get tried and he's going to be found guilty. All right, so Edif, let's go straight to the dua. لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين 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 بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا. Muin, you take over. ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك. We're testing that Arabic. ويهديك صراطا مستقيما.
Where are you? أذكار ما بعد الظهر.
What happened? It clicked off?
لا إله إلا الله مالك الحق المبين.
وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا. Just start over.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا وكان عند الله وجيها في الدنيا والآخرة ومن المقربين وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله كما قال عيسى ابن مريم للحواريين من أنصاري إلى الله قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسينا السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لا رأيته خاشئا متصدئا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو العالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو المالك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم أعيذ نفسي بالله تعالى من كل ما يسمعه بأذنين ويبصر بعينين ويمشي برجلين ويبتش بيدين ويتكلم بشفتين حسنت نفسي بالله الخالق الأكبر من شر ما أخاف وأحذر من الجن والإنس وأن يحضرون الزجاره وجل ثناؤه وتقدست أسماؤه ولا إله غيره. اللهم إني أجعلك في نهور أعدائي وأعوذ بك من شرورهم وتهيلهم ومكرهم ومكائدهم. أطفي نار من أراد بي عداوات من الجن والإنس. يا حافظ يا حافظ يا كافي يا مهيت. سبحانك يا ربي ما أعظم شأنك وأعز سلطانك. تحصنت بالله وبأسماء الله وبآيات الله وملائكة الله وأنبياء الله ورسول الله والصالحين من عباد الله. حصنت نفسي بلا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. اللهم احرسني بعينك التي لا تنام واكنفني بكنافك الذي لا يرام. وارحمني بقدرتك علي فلا أهلك وأنت ثقتي ورجائي. يا غياث المستغيثين يا غياث المستغيثين يا غياث المستغيثين. يا درك الحالكين يا درك الهالكين يا درك الهالكين. اكفني شر كل طارق اكفني شر كل طارق يترك بليل أو نهار إلا طارق يترك بخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. بسم الله أرقي نفسي من كل ما يؤذي ومن كل حاسد الله شفائي. بسم الله الرقيت. اللهم رب الناس أذهب البأس اشفي أنت الشافي وعافي أنت المعافي. لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك شفاء لا يغادر السقم ولا ألما. يا كافي يا وافي يا حميد يا مجيد. ارفع عني كل تعب شديد واكفني من الحد والحديد والمرض الشديد والجيش العديد. واجعل لي نورا من نورك وعزا من عزك ونصرا من نصرك وبهاء من بهائك وعطاء من عطائك وهراسة من هراستك وتأييدا من تأييدك. يا ذا الجلال والإكرام والمواهب الإذام. أسألك أن تكفيني من شر كل ذي شر إنك أنت الله خالق الأكبر. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والحمد لله رب العالمين ظاهر وباطن وعلى كل حال يا أرحم الراحمين.
All right, we'll do a silent drop for 2 minutes. صلى الله وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Listen, Allah Ta'ala tells us very clearly. Okay. Allah Ta'ala tells us that, where is it? وَكُلَّمَا عَاهَدُوا عَهْدًا نَبَذَهُ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ. Surah Al-Baqarah. Is it every single time? كُلَّمَا عَاهَدُوا. Why is it? It's a question. Or is it, the alif there makes it a question. Of course, you know that from your Arabic classes. If you put an alif in front of something, it renders the verb into a question. Is it that every time they strike a deal, a covenant, a group of them cast it aside? In fact, most of them don't believe. But أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. They don't believe that they have to, what does it believe in? This is talking about a deal. Is it belief in Allah, belief in the Prophet? No, belief that they have to honor the deal. That's the problem. Because when you're looking at the context of a general statement, you're going to interpret it according to the specific. So the specific is that this is about covenants. The general is that they don't believe. So what don't they believe? They don't believe they have to honor the deal because of their positions about goys and Gentiles and all that. Right? They literally don't believe that they have to give you anything. It's not their belief. They actually probably, Ben Gvir and all these people, I think that they believe this whole party yesterday that Trump did was wrong. They think it's like blasphemous. How are we having peace with the Amalekites? That's what they believe, with Amalek.
Yep.
Right? What do you think?
I mean, it goes further than that.
Yeah.
So a lot of religious Jews don't believe in Zionism, don't support Zionism, don't think that this is the way for them to obtain the land. Of course, they still believe that eventually Allah will give them the land, but only through their Messiah.
And then they'll genocide us all.
Yeah.
Right? Because they still are ending up there.
They're still ending up there, and they're going to be the only occupants of the land.
Yeah.
But that said, there are other religious Jews that believe that this is a legitimate way to obtain the land, and they believe that it's a religious obligation to do so, and that not doing it, in any way delaying it, is sinful.
Yeah.
So for those people who believe that, yeah, they think that this is all blasphemy.
Yeah.
And that they shouldn't be striking any deals, and that they should just wipe out every single Palestinian. And then there's the secular ones who are just monsters.
Yeah.
They don't even believe in God, but they still believe that the land is theirs. You know, it was promised to them by a God that they don't believe exists.
I think they're Europhiles. They love Europeans.
Of course.
And they want to have a white nation state just like them. They didn't fit in Europe, so this is their only outlet, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them are from Eastern Europe.
Yeah, Malachowski.
Yeah.
How do you say his name exactly? Take the mic.
Milikowski.
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 Yeah. So did anyone think that Israel was going to actually leave without planting some Arab-looking Mossad agents to cause trouble so that they could accuse Hamas of breaking the deal within like a week or two? See, they're faster than I expected. They broke the treaty, the ceasefire, faster than I expected. I didn't think it would be like within a day.
One of the craziest things they're doing is they cut the aid that they were allowing in half, with their argument being that Hamas is breaking the deal because they're taking too long to turn over the bodies.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hamas or whoever's in charge right now is looking for the bodies under the rubble. Like, you leveled the whole place into rubble, and then you're complaining that they can't find the bodies of the people that you killed when you were bombing it.
Yeah.
Have they resumed the bombing? Like immediately?
I'm trying to look at where
there's
is
so
it?
much news now that happens so quickly.
That's the thing.
Like,
You
it's
never
hard to
know
keep
what's
up
going
with,
on.
Like, and does it count as an official? Does it
Breaking
count
of
as
the
an
ceasefire?
official breaking of the ceasefire? Or are they denying that they broke the ceasefire?
Well, they're already
They're going to
accusing
pin it on
Hamas.
the Palestinians, right?
And secondly,
They did it first.
Secondly, like,
Their MO.
who even doubted that they're going to have some agents on the inside that are going to ensure that it looks
That it
like
continues,
Hamas does something? Like, that's just like 101. That's Israeli behavior 101.
You know, there's something incredibly, it's really deep about that ayah that you read. There's a metaphysical connection to these people, not a biological one.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the genetics, the actual descendants of the people that used to live there are all Palestinians.
100%.
They're the Palestinians that later became Christians and Muslims,
Yeah.
and that inhabited the land for the last 2,000 to 3,000 years. Yet somehow these people that are genetically unconnected are still inheritors of that same behavior.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
It has nothing to do with blood. It has to do with belief.
Yeah.
And that's why in the verses and the tafsir, when the Muslims talk about Jewish behavior, they talk about it's them and who enters into them. So one of the tafsir is al-maghdubi alayhim, that's actually a curse until the end of time. And it's not because of their genetics. It's because if you believe that you have a law to yourself, everyone exists to serve you, and you're superior just by being born in a certain way, eventually everyone's going to come to hate you. And you also believe that you have this bizarre anthropomorphism about God. Indeed. That like he has to do stuff, he has to be fair to us, he has to he
Apologize to us.
yeah, he has to repent.
Yeah, was that guy Rabbi
Shmuley.
Shmuley
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah.
He said that thing like, "Oh, God needs to apologize."
Well,
for
see,
the backlash that we're
that's
facing over the last 2 years.
that whole view of God is transmitted over hundreds of thousands of years. Like the Quran already says, some Jews said God's stingy.
Allah.
The others said we're not going to worship you until you show us yourself, as if this is a product to buy. Like I need to see you in order to know
Like, prove
prove
it
you're
to
worthy
us.
of worship, right? So they already said these things in the Bible. They have Jacob allegedly wrestling God. So all these kinds of things get transmitted, and it's ultimately, there is a study, we can pull it up. I mean, Alex, you can probably pull this up, that the genetic origin of the Palestinians is Israelites. They are the Israelites, the remnant Israelites that are there. And this is Jonathan Cohen in the Times of Israel writes this article, and we read it already, right? We read this article already, that he says he does this long study with all sorts of stuff you don't understand. The conclusion of it is that Palestinians today are the Israelites. These are the actual descendants of the and why they're called Yehud and Jews is from Yehud. They're called Yehud for two different reasons. Is number one, the lineage of the monarchy was always through Yehuda, right? Yehuda was the son of Jacob that kept having the monarchy. He was the fourth son, and he's always been in charge of them. He was always the leader of the 12 or of the 10. And then Benjamin was the 11th. And of course, Yusuf was away. But the monarchy stayed in his line, and the prophethood went into the line of the Levites, Lawa, in most of the time. So from outside, they just called the Bani Israel by their ruler, by their king. So they just called him Yehud, okay, because he's the one. They're the ones who ruled. That's one reason they were called Yehud. The other reason is that because when they returned back to Musa alayhi salam, repentant from the golden calf, then they said, "Inna hudna ilayk," right? We repent to you. So they were called the repenters. Notice they're not called like the submitters. They're called the repenters. Sin is built into their behavior, right? But those are the two reasons. But the descendants of these tribes, and then 10 got lost, and then 2 stayed, right? The people who stayed here, they are actual Palestinians, and they ended up becoming Muslims. Don't you ever sometimes look at a Syrian and like, that guy, right? Right? It happens all the time, right? It happens all the time. You're like, the likeness is there. So that's there. And these guys, the opposite, none of them are Arabs. They get rashes from not Arabs, but Semitic. Yeah. They get rashes and they have allergies to climate. Semitic things, trees and pollen and stuff.
Anti-Semitism is the biggest misnomer in the 20th century.
It's the biggest lie.
Because they're not Semitic.
Not Semitic at all.
The other thing is, if you're an evangelical Christian that believes the misinterpretation of the Bible verse that says, whoever blesses Israel, God will bless, and whoever curses Israel, God will curse. You believe that means modern day Israelites.
Yeah.
That you're still attributing that to the wrong people. Because the people that the actual physical descendants are the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you go, oh no, well, it's a religious thing. Most of the people in Israel aren't religious.
They're
secular and even atheist.
Yeah.
They don't even believe
you're not attributing. What are you attributing it to?
Yeah.
A false identity.
What's the angle?
Your argument is ridiculous.
With the evangelicals, though, they're basically taking the position of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or they want to accelerate.
Honestly, my honest opinion is sometimes it's just complete brain rot and politics, right?
Money.
And money. Yeah. Elif, why don't you go into Surah al-Imran, verse 75. We're going to bring that up. And Elif, I need you to constantly be swapping through images on the side here and overlaying and all that stuff. Yeah.
Just when we used to do this years ago, we
anything
didn't have any of this.
Yeah, no. We didn't have the switchboard.
Anything that anyone mentions, look it up and put it up. Yeah. And now put this ayah up, and when he puts it up, I'll read it. And wow, he's fast. He's already got it on the, what do you call this left screen? Backstage. He's already got it on the control room, the backstage preview screen. So the curse is not on a bloodline. See, what's up with the Christians are all about, okay, you have original sin. What did I do? Right? Then Jesus is God's son. Everything is bloodlines with these guys, right? Why can't he just be a prophet that God created? Why does he have to be his son? Okay. Secondly, the Yehud, same thing. It's all in the blood. So where's human willpower in all this? Right? So Jesus did the action allegedly that got us forgiven, right? I mean, where's my willpower?
That's why they don't accept the prophets, right?
Yeah.
Jews of Medina, same thing. It's
just because he's not from a family.
Absolutely.
Look at this. Allah Ta'ala tells us, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is the verse for why al-Yahud, Jews, are al-Maghdubi alayhim. It has nothing to do with their lineage. It's your belief. Okay. Look, go straight there. وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِن تَأْمَنْهُ بِقِنْطَارٍ يُؤَدِّي إِلَيْكَ. Some of them are very honest. You can give him a whole mountain of gold and you can trust him. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ إِن تَأْمَنْهُ بِدِينَارٍ لَا يُؤَدِّهِ إِلَيْكَ إِلَّا مَا دُمْتَ عَلَيْهِ قَائِمًا. Another person, he owes you a coin back. That's it. One little coin. You'll have to stay chasing after him to get your coin back. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَالُوا. What's the reason for all that? This is because they said, لَيْسَ عَلَيْنَا فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ سَبِيلٌ. We don't owe the Gentiles anything. We're not accountable. And we're allowed to exploit them. وَيَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبِ وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. And they're lying about God's law. So they're not, it's not like the old colonizer who just says, I have bigger guns than you. I'm just taking, like the whites did to the Native Americans. This is worse because you're actually giving it a divine stamp. It's far worse. It's far less, I would say worse, when you believe that, oh, this is what God wants from us, right? As opposed to your average bully who just says, I can, therefore I will, right? That person it's a little bit less. This one, he's lying about God and he's really convinced himself by this. Alex, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw a video not too long ago from an Israeli woman who was saying that one of the worst things you can do in modern Israeli culture, one of the worst insults you can say to somebody, and I don't remember what the term was, but it essentially means that you went into a transaction and didn't get the absolute most that you could out of it. And to call somebody that, it's like fighting words.
Yeah.
It's like insulting their mother. To call you, oh, you're a sucker. You got the worst end of the deal.
Say that again.
To go into a transaction and not get the like you go into a store to buy something and you didn't get the absolute best price.
Yep.
There's an insult. It's a word. It's a term that they use to insult you. Basically, like you're a sucker.
Yeah.
But saying that to somebody in Israel is like the worst insult. It's like calling you a kelb or something.
So the reason they do this, they behave like this, is that if you leave the deal happy, they know I could have gotten more.
Yeah.
Right? And
You're
that's
satisfied.
like the worst human being you ever want to deal with. So I say in dawah, all we really need to do is A, be clean, physically clean, and B, you need to be good in the regular financial interactions, because people really judge you based on how you deal with money.
Absolutely.
Right? Alif, go to Surah al-Fatiha. Okay, so go down to the end here. And a lot of people don't know this, but okay. Look at the last ayah there, ayah number 7. First it says, guide us to the straight path. The straight path of those that you've blessed. Not those who you are displeased with is a very soft translation. Maghdub is you're angered with, nor those who are astray. So the Mufassirin say about this ayah, when Allah is maghdub on someone, he's angry with somebody, all of the creation will be angry with him too and hate them too. And that's why this group of people is hated wherever they go. 102 countries, 109 countries, whatever the number is, right? But it's because of your behavior, and your behavior is rooted in your belief. If you actually believe all these things about the Gentiles, and that you can,
why
you
would
can
they like
use
you?
them. Why would they like you? Exactly. That. So when I meet somebody who is Jewish, I need to ask him in the same way that you're an Arab. Oh, do you denounce Hamas? I need to know if you denounce this Gentile dichotomy, like this Jew-Gentile dichotomy. If you're a Jew and you want to live at peace, you need to denounce it. You can still claim to be ethnically Jewish. I think the claim is meaningless anyway, DNA-wise. But regardless, if that's what makes you happy to believe that you're a descendant from the 12 tribes of Israel, that's all for you. You be as happy as you want. But you need to publicly denounce. If you join, get citizenship for a nation or what have you. Because in our Sharia, we have rules.
Yes.
Like, yes, we're Muslims and our heart is with the Ummah of Muhammad, but we have direct rules on how you interact with non-believers and what kind of things you're allowed to do.
If you think about it, what reason do they have to remove that divide, right? Because they're not a proselytizing religion. Nobody can enter. Like, how do you enter into their faith?
That's true.
You can enter into Islam.
100%. Yeah.
Right? So we have an incentive also to bring people towards Islam. But they don't have an incentive to remove the divide between Jew and non-Jew.
But you can enter to some degree, right? Didn't Trump's daughter just enter?
Dude,
It's like a superficial thing.
That's not. That's
It's
not
a
the
Kabbalah.
Orthodox don't allow it. So an Orthodox rabbi won't acknowledge that that's a legitimate thing, the conversion. But the more liberal ones do. So there's three mainstream types of religious Judaism. There's the Orthodox, obviously, and there's variations on that. Conservative, which is actually like liberal, and then liberal, which is like lesbian rabbis.
No, the Christians are upset with Trump. They said, "Did you let your daughter just turn her back on Jesus?" Right? Ramin, did you know these gentlemen? Ramin is one of the remnants of the Iranian Shafi'is, because you know the Iran was Shafi'i, right?
Imam Ghazali.
Yeah, Imam al-Ghazali. It's crazy to think Imam al-Ghazali, al-Jailani originated from there, and then he spent most of his life in Baghdad. But Abdul Qadir al-Jailani, of course, al-Fakhr al-Razi. See, I could totally picture Imam al-Ghazali with speaking Persian. His nature aligns with that very elite type of culture, subhanAllah. And ever since Shah Ismail, his name was, right, took them towards Shiism, the Islamic world hasn't had openings and victories, because the Ottomans were fighting now two fronts. They had this group stabbing them in the back, and then they had to fight the Crusaders in the front of them, and the Europeans in front of them. So,
what's the percentage of Sunnis now in Iraq? Is it around 10, less?
It's mostly
I don't think anybody can hear you, right?
oh, no one can hear him.
We'll
unfortunately.
echo his answer.
It's fine. It's mostly non-Persians who are Sunni, like the Afghanis, Kurds, there's things like that. So various ethnic minorities.
Afghanis and Kurds.
Baluchis.
Edif, put up the video I just sent you. And this is something we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Here we
This
go.
is,
The final end result.
I mean, recently,
Of- Of course. Oh, Mamdani did. I don't know
Har?
if he went there. I don't know if he actually venerated the idol, but he came close.
the flower. The har.
Do it without the volume. We don't need the volume, Edif. But what has the Safina Society podcast been talking about from 2015 about Muslims entering into liberal politics? What's the end result going to be? All religions mean nothing, and it's all just expressions. And play this video, Edif, and I'm going to basically read to you what I said about this. Okay, here he goes. I guess you could put the volume since we're not talking anyway. And there we. All right, so there you go. We're gonna honor Ganesh. Is that Ganesh?
One of them.
One of them.
I mean,
Ganesh is the elephant
it's
one.
a
Who was
multiple
that?
choice.
That was an
question with
elephant.
300 answers.
Rewind. Yeah,
3,000 answers.
Play it again.
Rewind, Edifu. Okay. Play.
Sadiq Khan now. And then Kartik Pandey and co-chairs, if you could
Elephant
come
man,
with the
basically.
trustees. All the three trustees, if you could go jointly, please. If you could stay there, please. Thank you.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if he just like went up and just like knocked it down?
That wouldn't have happened.
Like that would have been.
Let me ask you a
redemption.
question. If you're in business or and politics with a Hindu, you would totally expect him to say, "When we go to lunch, I don't have beef," and you would say, "We're inviting you to lunch, but we're not having beef."
Yeah.
Right? And we would totally find it normal if a Jew was there and said, "We won't serve pork." Let's say he's an Orthodox, or we won't meet on Saturday. And a Muslim comes in, we won't meet on Jummah, and we won't serve pork or alcohol. Correct?
Yeah,
so
You
how
have to
is
say
this
la ilaha
not
illallah
one of them?
before you meet me?
Like, how is this not one of them? Like, okay, I can do a lot of things. I support you guys. I love you guys. I got certain things, obviously, I can't do, like eat pork. Or for a Jew, break the Sabbath if he's Orthodox. Okay. How is idolatry not in this equation? As a Muslim, like, have the courtesy. Why don't they have they don't have the courtesy. They want you to do it, right? But the courtesy to say, for them to say, listen, I know you're not going to do idols, but how about you? You're not going to eat pork. You're not going to drink, right? Why wouldn't you just say something like that? It's not that hard.
There's no obligation for him to
Yeah, but the thing,
You're not obligated.
yeah, but the
Moreover,
thing is,
it's not even like he's in India.
Social pressure.
Yeah.
yeah, he's Pakistani.
On top of that, he's Pakistani.
Yeah.
Is he Aga Khan or what?
I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, all these guys, especially in politics, in corporate, like for them, this isn't idol worship. This is like nothing. This is like eating a samosa, right? Like it's all just like this cultural vibe,
100%.
right? And then now I'm vibing with your culture, you vibe with my culture, and you know tomorrow, even if you're praying salah, like it's not salah, it's just you're just bowing and you know doing this thing for me to feel good, and I do this thing for you to feel good. Your gods are useless, my god, it's all just like this.
That's the whole liberal vibe.
Yeah,
It's all just culture,
Yeah.
right? That's all. That's a liberal vibe. But here we have in Sanusi has a description of shirk, and his list of 6 kinds. I wish he had got it to 7. We can probably think of one other one, right? Make it 7. It's a better number, right? Is called Shirk al-Taqlid. It's called Shirk al-Taqlid. Okay. Let's say if there's a culture where we already have a culture where you shake hands with women and even sometimes hug them and even kiss them on the cheek, right? That's like French European culture. You do that to your neighbors, even your friend's wife comes in, you would do that. Husband and wife would do that. It's so haram, right? Even though it's nothing, it's just culture. But Sharia actually governs culture. And a cultural thing could be halal. It could be good. It could be halal. It could be prohibited, and it could be kufr.
Yeah.
And this one is one of them. Shirk at-Taqlid, it's called, where you're just doing what everyone else is doing. It's a ritualistic behavior, but it's actually an act of disbelief.
Yeah.
And to venerate an idol, to honor it. Forget what, like all that's under the banner of worship. Worship to us doesn't mean to prostrate only. In fact, prostration doesn't necessarily even mean worship, because the angels prostrated out of respect, right? And the Sahaba even told the Prophet ﷺ, in the foreign lands, they prostrate to their kings out of respect. Let us do that. The Prophet forbade it and said, from now on, this is haram in my ummah. Now, do you think that the Sahaba are not educated enough to know that if prostration was worship, they would have known that. They wouldn't have said to the Prophet, and the Prophet would have said, no, this is shirk. So prostration of respect is well known. The angels did it. Allah commanded it to Adam alayhi salam. It's called the prostration of respect. That is not worship. It's not shirk. Funny thing, the devil groups, satanic groups, they say Iblis refused to do it because he was drowning in Tawheed. He couldn't prostrate and do shirk to another. That's how they defend Iblis. But in any event,
The Wahhabiyya?
in any event, these guys, these ibadah is not limited to prostration. Alif, remove Muhammad ibn Mansur Khan.
You know, it probably doesn't even enter these guys' equation.
Hold on. Let's see. He has.
He probably did this 100 times before he got up on this thing.
He always tries.
You know what I'm saying? Just to get to that position.
Well, to get to that position, you probably took khamr lightly. You probably took khanzir
There's
lightly.
no way you get there
Of
without.
course, you don't just get
without doing 100 transgressions before that.
veneration.
It's part of the job description is that you're Muslim in your background, but not in your behavior.
Yeah. You know what's even more insidious though than him doing the whatever with Ganesh?
Yeah.
And he did the other thing with the LGBT stuff before too. But what's more insidious than that is that the overall Muslim populace, there is no sort of boundaries or checks for the Muslim populace to realize, like, okay, now this guy has clearly committed shirk, right? Clearly committed an act of kufr. Now he's out.
Yeah.
No, you ask somebody in 6 months, is the mayor of London Muslim? They'll say yes. Right, so it's like for him too, even politically, it's like, oh, whatever, I'll support these guys, do it, and it's not like I'm going to bear any consequences for that religiously or spiritually or politically.
I don't even think he's going to bear consequences from Muslims.
He's not. That's what I'm
means.
saying. That's what I mean. There's no
Nobody's taking
consequences
him
at
to a
all.
qadi.
So,
Man, like, look what he did.
Even popular, the court of popular opinion is not going to be, public opinion in the community is not going to be affected. That's unfortunate. We've absorbed a lot of this stuff as it's just nothing.
You can't judge his heart.
No,
Exactly.
like there's
Literally,
even
Sanusi-
there's even hesitation. I guarantee you, there's hesitation even right now amongst like people in the chat. Oh, is he even a Muslim? Well, it's like the guy literally venerated an idol in public. So what more do you need to say that someone is doing is
Even you can't
performing
say it right now.
an act of kufr? That's what I'm saying, right? But this is how far this has now gone to the left.
That's exactly what we were saying.
You can't even say that a kafir is a kafir.
When we first started the stream, that's exactly like our theme was that we're headed in such a direction that nothing is going to have any meaning soon, right? It's all just ritualistic. Because once you tolerated Qawm Lut and you were soft on them, well, why not tolerate idolatry then, right?
Yeah.
And be soft on that. So, to put it as a moment for if anyone wants to learn about it, is that to venerate an idol is part of worship. Worship is not just prostration. And we just said prostration is not even always worship. In the past, it wasn't. Now, today, obviously, sujood would be considered probably worship. But nonetheless, the point being is that veneration, all kinds of honoring of an idol, is worship of an idol. Like, it's all kufr. To honor it, even just to put it on your shelf. Why would you? You only put something on your shelf, you honor it. Honor of idols. And we know, and number two, I don't think anybody does not know that Ganesh is an idol. Like, everyone knows that Elephant Man's an idol, Lady Arms is an idol. We know just by living around Hindus
Dalsim
enough.
or whatever.
I only know two idols. I know Elephant Man and I know Lady Arms.
Dalsim is the Street Fighter guy.
I don't know him. There are some of these idols who do literally indecent acts, right? There's literally a guy who has a boy, an idol, who has a boy next to him, and that man has something. We have some kids who watch here, but he has having a physical experience, and he's putting the kid's hand there.
Insane.
It's insane.
You know my theory, Shane.
Yeah.
All these
Epstein
these
is one of their
idols
idols?
It's an
What's your
Epstein
theory?
idol. Yeah.
These idols that these idolatrous religions worship are just shayateen manifesting to them.
100% jinn.
They're shayateen from the jinn who pop up in these really hideous, ugly, terrible forms, and people end up worshiping them.
The Quran even tells us, "Bal kanu ya'budun al-jinn." It's like literally there in the Quran. What they are worshiping is jinn. Shayateen al-jinn, who somehow got into their view and were able to communicate with some of their priests, and then the priests continue the story after that. But so number one, all forms of veneration of an idol. The idol is treated like najasa, worse than najasa. If we have a puddle of najasa right here, it's forbidden for us to continue this live stream without cleaning it up first. Like, you literally have to dispose of it immediately. If someone came in and say, "Hi, I'm your neighbor, and I just wanted to welcome you, and here's, by the way, an idol from our religion." Let's say he's a totally innocent guy, and he's being nice and he's ignorant, right? So, okay. Either you're going to say, "All right, I don't want to mess things with the relationship right now. All right, you could just leave it here for now." As soon as he walks out, you have to break it or throw it in the garbage. You can't just leave it there. So we have like a very strict rule on idols. But number two, you have to know it's an idol. There's no doubt that everyone knows Ganesh is an idol, right? Or whoever that idol was. Number three, you have to not have duress. So it's not, we know, practically speaking, these Hindu politicians were not saying, "Okay, you do this,
Gun
or
to your head.
You're going to cut your head off, we're going to kill your family, we're going to do all this stuff." That didn't happen, right? That doesn't happen in the Western nations for something like this. Yeah, rationally it's possible, but practically speaking, that's not conceivable as an excuse. So therefore, you have no excuse.
No, they just won't vote for him.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's the worst thing possible. And then secondly, now we go to the consequences of this, to understand that it doesn't make a difference if people think something's not a big deal. It's what Allah tells us. So now the consequences of doing this is that you're out of Islam when you do that. Certain things, certain actions themselves, which indicate idolatry, put you out of Islam. Going out of Islam is not by identifying as a non-Muslim. No, it's negating what is known in religion by necessity, or actions that honor idols, or actions that could not be understood in any way except that you are disrespecting God and His Prophet. Okay? Those actions themselves would put you out of Islam. I mean, it's logical, because it's the message you're communicating. So if I communicate a message of atheism, I'm an atheist, whether I write it or whether I say it or whether I act upon it. That's one of the ways to act upon the establishment of honor of an idol.
Well, let me ask this question, though.
Yeah.
We say all this, we know all this, right? This is obvious to any.
This is all theory for people who want to learn Islam. Forget action in the world, because this is going to pass for him. Unfortunately, we're at such a poor level, to be honest, that nothing's going to happen to him.
No, well, let me ask you this question. Within the next year,
Yeah.
how many masajid is he going to get invited to where somebody is going to announce
That's
we have our
pathetic.
Muslim mayor, Sadiq Khan, he's done so much for the community, blah 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 blah, and the fact that he's literally put a garland on an idol is completely ignored. Like the likelihood of this happening is like 100%. Right. Yeah. So at some point it's like we have to ask ourselves as a community, it's like, what happens when there's no guardrails or checks and balances on iman and kufr at all?
Yeah.
And you know what? It's an excellent point, and it just shows how much our focus of what's important has shifted. Because if he had been giving an award, a humanitarian award to Netanyahu, he would get invited nowhere.
Without a doubt.
At the most sellout places. No masjid would be like, oh, you can come now after you gave a peace prize to Netanyahu, right?
If he just had an affair.
And as grievous as that is, as terrible as it is, our idea of politics and of what's important in the political realm and of preserving the life of the Muslims that are being slaughtered, all of which are very important, they don't get higher than Tawheed.
Of course.
Tawheed is far above that. It's not even in the same category.
It's not in the same category.
Violating Allah's rights and doing something that violates your Tawheed is way worse than supporting Netanyahu.
We've become a people who we only care about the worldly, the khalq.
Yeah.
And we don't care about the khaliq. And that's where we've absorbed a Renaissance humanism, in a sense, that's been trickling down from the Renaissance down to the rest of the world for 500 years, that essentially none of that stuff is actually real, and nothing matters except how you treat people. When you ask somebody, like, what's your religion? What do you believe in? They're going to tell you, just be good to people. Okay, what about being good to your creator? Does your creator have rights? You believe what you want. So he doesn't have rights, essentially. And this is what's the pathetic state that we're in, that something like this passed, nothing's going to happen. But if he were to say a word about Netanyahu, right, then the whole left would totally be, and rightfully so, but Tawheed, no, it's not.
The red lines have changed.
Yeah.
For people, it's all just superficial red lines. The actual red lines don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
You can cross those, it's fine. You can just,
you can
blur
bulldoze
them in this sign. You can bulldoze them.
Yeah.
But these other red lines that signal to us that you're on the right side politically or socially, you can't cross those, otherwise you're done.
Yeah.
And it's wild. This is a really flawed example, and it's something I hate to do because it draws a worldly comparison with Allah, but it's something that I think people would understand well. Is say a woman has two sons, and one of them is really like a bad personality, rude, cheap with people. Just the neighbors can't stand him. But he treats his mother like gold.
Yeah.
Does everything she says, does everything for her, is there for her at all times, treats her well. Then you have the other son who's a prince in society. He treats everybody well. He's beloved by everyone. He's always generous. But he curses at his mother or ignores her even. Forget about that. He just ignores her. Doesn't return her calls, won't go visit her, won't see her. Which one is the better son?
Yeah.
The one that puts his respect and his honor where it belongs first, even if he's terrible in society.
Yeah.
And the other one who's great in society but won't even acknowledge the person on earth that most deserves his honor and respect and love, that person is scum. No matter what he does for the rest of the world, he has no honor, he has no dignity.
I never saw the movie, but American Gangster is supposed to be about this, where Denzel Washington is a gangster. But he's so good to the people, like his neighborhood and his mom. Like, he honors his mom. He bought her a house, but he's also good to the whole family, and he's also good to the broader neighborhood. Like, he's a gangster who's made his neighborhood safe.
I do not recommend
Put that up.
watch this movie.
No, I don't recommend you watch it, but put the picture up so at least
there's things in that movie.
You saw it. This is before he became.
I saw it like
Ustad Mubin,
Astaghfirullah. I saw it
That's
when
back
I
when
was
he was Muin.
I saw it when I saw it in high school.
Okay,
it's
so
old. It's like 20 years old.
So,
Maybe in middle
but the
school,
cop who's after
so
him is a
2007.
scumbag, right? He's terrible.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea behind this movie, American Gangster. And you talk to people about the priorities, we would have the same thing. Like Hajjaj bin Yusuf, he's the first tyrant in Islam. Like he literally killed companions. And he killed shuyukh hanging from the Kaaba. And he had them killed from the Tabi'een. He killed Sahaba. He killed Abdullah ibn Zubair. And he had him put on a cross in front of Mecca so everyone knows to beware and knows who won the battle. And then he went to apologize to his mother, who was Asma, daughter of Abu Bakr.
Right.
So, but Hajjaj bin Yusuf, okay, if we're going to put him, let's say, Mother Teresa, right? All she does is good deeds all her life, giving food in India and all that stuff. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, who's going to have a better outcome?
Right.
Hajjaj bin Yusuf. Because to believe, it's not because his identity as a Muslim, because at the very least, he didn't disbelieve in God and his prophet. He accepted God and his prophet. The number one primary thing is God. I look at it like this. Here's another example. I'm going to open up a restaurant tomorrow. There's a terrible restaurant. It's ugly looking. It's not in a great spot, but it has all the permits. And there's this great restaurant on the corner, and it's beautiful, but it has no permits. Well, the choice is obvious. I can only operate out of one that has permits. Right. So that's where I'm going. No matter what, that's the better option for me. Same thing. The lines are just terrible. And that's what we've been saying from back in 2015.
Yeah.
Within the hierarchy of sins, right?
Yeah.
Kufr and shirk is the highest. I mean, this is something that's so basic for a Muslim that we should all understand. But now, and I think Alex has mentioned this before, we have the hierarchy has sort of shifted now, where political sins or humanitarian sins are actually considered greater than shirk and kufr. So you have somebody, for example, who is a Muslim, right? Now they might actually do heinous acts like a terrorist. Right now we value the sanctity of life, but at the end of the day, the shirk of Mother Teresa, right, is worse, right, than someone committing heinous acts of violence. Even though we obviously value sanctity of life, and there's things that we have to take into consideration with this world, but this is like so obvious to the basic Muslim like 100 years ago. Now it's just like people have forgotten this, very basic concept.
And the thing with that is, for the heinous acts or for the criminal acts of a person, their punishment is in this life. You punish them, they go to court, you judge them, you give them whatever worldly punishment they have to have, and then the rest is for Allah on the Day of Judgment. For people that are committing shirk and kufr, their punishment is with Allah and it's eternal. Yeah. So like, it doesn't even compare. So in this life, you judge them for what they did, and then you move on. Yeah. But they're still a Muslim. Whereas the disbeliever is a disbeliever. He's chosen disbelief. He's chosen it for eternity.
A belief is something you intend to have forever. An action is something you only do once. Yeah. And that's why the punishment of acts is temporary, and the punishment of deeds of beliefs is permanent.
Sheikh Nuh was once talking about why would Allah punish someone forever? Yeah, a disbeliever. And he said, there's nothing in this world that you can do that deserves no act that deserves eternal damnation and punishment. Just like there's no good deed that you've ever done or a series of good deeds that deserves eternal felicity. You haven't earned either one of those through your actions.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But the disbeliever, if you gave him 200 years to live, 1,000 years to live, he would be on disbelief for 1,000 years. Yeah. And again, Allah punishes disbelief for someone who knowingly is committing it, right? Not someone who doesn't understand what they're doing.
Yeah. And that's where it's also that said that Allah creates your lifespan right to reach the point where you are now, when you die, that's what you would have done for forever. If you were to live constantly, that's how you would be. And also, if you think about the Prophet ﷺ said, nobody enters Jannah with his actions, because actions are temporary. But the little palaces in Jannah and the trees are based on actions, because you only enjoy those temporarily, right? So now you're going to stay in the same palace the whole time. But the entrance into paradise itself is only by Allah's mercy.
Yeah. For what it's worth, there's plenty of sins today that people do believe are worth eternal punishment, right? So, for example, you have pedophiles. You have people who, and almost all the time it's related to something to do with children or women, where you have a serial rapist, you have a pedophile, and you see these people and you're like, oh, they're so horrible that they deserve a lifetime and an eternity of punishment, right? With no recourse for mercy or anything, right? So it's just people place the hierarchy of what is wrong and what is good, in different places now.
This disgust is fitri, but it's also created. People manufacture disgust, and if you notice, like the left, they're actually trying to decrease your disgust with pedophilia. They're into it, they defend it, and it started with little hints here and there, and I think probably the people who are compromised by pedophilia, they're promoting these types of influencers, right?
I saw a graphic. I didn't fact check it, but it was mentioning the hundreds of child brothels that existed in Germany in the 1920s and 30s that were subsequently wiped out.
Yeah.
So this is an ongoing problem that gets promoted over and over and over again. You open up your society to ideas fomented by certain groups, and then you end up with people in academia and in certain professions, psychiatrists, that kind of, trying to justify and create leniency for that kind of behavior.
Somebody's saying, what happens if he didn't know that this was wrong, right? And he's just trying to be inclusive, but he's a Muslim. So the way we would answer that is certain things are known by necessity. Like it's known by necessity that you cannot honor an idol in Islam, right? Let's hypothetically say that, he knows he doesn't know if it's right or wrong because he believes that on the inside, I don't believe that
I honored this idol.
I don't believe in this God, but I'm just respecting it to respect the community as a symbol of the community. So in that case, nonetheless, still we would have to hold. There is a line where we can't keep fuzzying up the line and saying Allah knows what's in your heart. There is certain things that are abjectly known in religion without study. The whole testimony of faith is there's no God except Allah. That means before you even affirm Allah, you're negating idolatry. It's not possible that a very smart person, smart enough to be mayor of a big city, does not know that the religion of Islam is against idolatry. You cannot not know that, right? So, we can continue by saying he can repent from this sin, but it requires repentance. But it requires a unique repentance, a bigger repentance than other things, even zina. Like, for example, you'd have to retake your shahada. You have to say La ilaha illallah again. Okay? Muhammad Rasulullah.
What?
Go ahead. I was saying, even in the case where it's ignorance, isn't it like a pretty sad that somebody can know everything about the world, can have gone through like 12 years of primary school education, college, learned all these subjects, know about so many things, but not know something so basic. Like that in and of itself is such a sad reflection of like ignorance that it's like, okay, at that point, can you even use the excuse? You know about everything in this world, but this basic thing you don't know about.
Could the mayor of London not know about what's happening in Israel?
No,
in Gaza?
impossible.
It's impossible. Same thing. It's literally impossible for any Muslim to walk on the earth and be able to read and know stuff and have a job, except that he knows we do not honor idols in Islam. The whole shahada is La ilaha illallah. Now I realize why we say it all the time. Why the adhan? Like, why this amount of repetition to make it literally impossible not to know? Now let's say, okay, fine, he knows that part, but he doesn't know that he can't just put the garland and he thinks ibadah is just prostration. Listen, we're not saying there's absolutely no way he can repent from this. Certain things, there's no discussion on it, okay?
By the way, there's plenty of things within the religion which, like, you do outwardly, but you can't just have a different internal, like, intention. So, for example, you ask anybody, Muslim or non-Muslim, if you eat, does your fast break?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, your fast is broken, right? There is no person on this planet who knows anything about Islam. That if you're fasting and you eat, your fast is broken. You can't say, "Oh, I'm eating this cheeseburger, but I'm really intending not to break my fast." Nobody believes this because this would be absurd, right? So you can't. This can apply in the same realm, right? Which is you can't just put a garland on this thing and then say, "Oh, I'm really not intending to honor it. I'm really intending to just honor my friends." No. Like, this is ridiculous,
your actions betray your beliefs in this situation.
I'm telling you, it's one
whatever
of these,
they may be.
One of these biggest fears is that we really devolve into a community that's all about, it's just nothing, no words or actions have any meaning at all.
Nothing means anything.
That's literally the secularization of a religion where nothing has any meaning. It's just how it made people feel.
It's actually very Yahudi if you think about it, right? Where it's
dissonance.
like, we're not doing this. We're actually we didn't put the net to catch the fish on this day. It was actually the previous day that we set up the net. So technically, we didn't capture on this day, right? Everything has an exit. Everything has an explanation that you can just kind of sneak out of. Yeah, it's permeated everything.
I had a Jewish coworker that told me, liberal, that told me that their rabbis told them that they could practice Buddhism because there's not a deity involved. Yeah. So it's not like kufr for them. Mm-hmm. So they can be Jewish and Buddhist.
Yeah.
This is like those women on
because they're not worshiping a god. So
wait, so repeat that.
So this Jewish coworker of mine told me that their rabbi, they go to a liberal congregation, said that you could practice Buddhism. Yeah. Because there's not a deity involved, so it's not actual like kufr. For them.
Wow. Okay.
I heard something similar with Muslims where they were using like tarot cards. Yeah. And they're like, oh, the tarot cards are not actually, shirk or kufr. There's like a whole there's like a whole mathematical scientific thing, and then we're basing it upon like the asbab and stuff, right? So this is like absurd at some point where you're just like, okay, come on. Like you're using tarot cards, and then now you're saying, "Oh, we're doing like the number counting and all this stuff," and there's like a whole science behind. It's like saying there's a whole science behind astrology. Yeah. The people in the past weren't stupid, right? They knew what astrology was. The prophets and the Sahaba, they knew what astrology was. They weren't just like, "Oh, actually, there's like a whole science behind it."
And by the way, sins are not only limited to intention. Like for example, if someone gets a job as an actor, and then he's in a scene where he has to basically be with another woman. He's not actually intending to cheat on his wife, right? Does that change the fact that act is severely unlawful, right? If he has to go and touch and kiss another woman, I know, but it's just a job, and we need Muslim representation. Like, how is that different? Correct? I said the same thing about Khabib's job too. As much as I love Khabib and Islam, their character, nobody can stand for this for MMA being halal. It's just there's no workaround for the ground and pound.
Is the argument that because it's a job, you can transgress the bounds? So if someone hired a hitman, they could be like, I didn't murder him.
On the job.
I was hired to murder this guy, so I didn't actually commit murder.
Yeah, it's like
he just died on the job.
In MMA, he's not really trying to beat up Christian Gaethje or whatever that guy's name was, right? Or any of his opponents, or Islam, whoever he's defeating. They're not. Nothing personal, but that doesn't make it halal. Like he expects it, we all expect it, we're all making money of it. That doesn't make it halal.
By the way, the argument for the pro MMA people is always like it's training.
Training, yeah.
He said right? Yeah, but then when you go and but once you leave the gym and you go and fight for a paycheck, you're not training anymore.
That's true.
Why does everything need to be justified? Yeah. Why can't it just be a thing and you're like not a great person all the time?
And you know what? Khabib, I heard, and I can't say who told me, but he doesn't defend it anymore. Yeah. And that the word is, is that he just has to help the people who helped him get to the top, and he's not going to. Allah knows best. That's just a rumor that I heard, or a word that I heard, and I can't really say the source, but that actually proves that he's an honorable guy. Because he's not trying to defend it, and he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Imagine we came up in a business, and then you three helped me make millions upon millions of dollars, and you guys made scraps. You made nothing, right? Then I get to the top of the mountain, lo and behold, the whole thing's haram. I'm not giving away my millions. I still have my millions. I still have my reputation. I'm still big and famous and loved. And then I'm going to now pull the rug from under you. So some people say that he's just helping the guys that helped him. And that's a decision he made, and then he's going to stay out of it. And it's either way, it's a tough decision to make, but that's the decision he made.
In any case, punching people in the face is still less of a egregious crime than kufr and shirk. So
by far.
I mean, probably.
And he retired, so he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, he coaches the other guys to do it, but nonetheless. But let's say that, okay, just because it's a sport doesn't mean. So if I'm an actor and actress, it doesn't mean I can do a love scene with somebody, right? And say I'm not actually committing zina with them. It's just the job. Same thing when I'm a politician. I'm not actually believing in kufri, in idolatry. I'm just respecting an idol because I need to honor everybody in the city. I need to be inclusive. There's 1,000 ways to be inclusive. If he was to wear the garland around himself, I couldn't accuse him of anything, right? If he was to eat vegetarian for a day, we couldn't accuse him of it. There's a lot of Hindu things, Indian things that you could do to show that you're representing these people and make them happy besides this. Okay, listen, then in that case, the next, get this thing out of here. Yeah, we had dessert that was brought to us here. Got it. We kept it in the box for a long time and forgot about it. Ended up with a moth. But in any event, next time that a Christian politician comes or a Hindu politician comes, are we going to say, come and make sajda with us?
Say la ilaha illallah.
Say la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and make sujood. And if you're a woman, come and wear hijab and go to the back of the line and pray with us. No, it's not going to happen, right? Why is it one way? And that's not even an argument, because if they did the same thing, we still wouldn't honor an idol. But where is the line? And that's the problem with these professions. If we keep blurring the lines and just say it's just by intention, then soon nothing will mean anything, right? Or riba, I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life, right? It's just I'm lending money at 20%. Or a gambling, right? I don't want to see anyone lose their life. I'm not making them gamble. I'm just the card dealer. I'm just dealing the cards. That's it. All these things is why we have a sharia. It governs everything, every aspect, not just if it's a job or not. All right, here's a question. Oh, this has nothing to do with the... let's just take this question. Why is mut'ah... why did the Sahaba do mut'ah even though the Prophet ﷺ had forbade it in his lifetime? Because not all the Sahaba learned about everything right away. It's not like there was a way to communicate to every single person except through word of mouth, right? After Hajj or after whatever, the people say, okay, what happened at Hajj? Oh, yeah, the Prophet said this. So they simply didn't know. And then Sayyidina Ali bin Abi Talib, even sometimes the closest and the brightest of Sahaba, like Ibn Abbas, didn't know certain things. Okay? And Sayyidina Ali is the one who informed him, actually, you can't teach this anymore, it's haram. The Prophet forbade it. Umar ibn Khattab repeated the prohibition because it's clear that many Sahaba had not known about it. So that's it. That's not... All right, what else we have to say about sort of suspending Sharia for the sake of jobs or inclusion or representation in certain fields, stuff like that?
I mean, unless you're absolutely destitute and you have to take a job where you have no choice but to feed your children, and it requires you to do something like delay your salah, not ignore it completely, maybe delay your salah, and you can't until you get yourself out of it, maybe. But to preserve your political office, like, this is just luxury.
Yeah.
That's all ego.
That's true.
You're just feeding your nafs there.
Yeah.
The Sharia already has sufficient exceptions. We don't.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Complete.
Yeah.
Half the time, there's not even a social consequence to not doing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an inferiority complex or some sort of assimilation thing where it's like, oh, if I don't do this, I will be perceived a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't, there probably wouldn't even be any blowback, right?
Yeah.
By the way, look at this situation with the Ganesh thing, right? The worst that could have happened is he would have told these people, "Oh, I can't put the garland on. You guys can do it, but I can't do it." Are they gonna like buy radio ads and TV ads to be like, he refused to put the garland on Ganesh's head? No, they might get mad right there, and they might tell their close people, and maybe a few hundred, maybe a few thousand people won't vote for him. It's a city of millions.
Are we saying that the mayor of London went into an event not knowing what the script was? Of course he knows what the script was. His aides, of course, tell him every step of the way. He's got security and he's got all that stuff. So even if he was to give the garland to another Hindu or Christian who didn't have these rules, and they did it, we wouldn't have much. We couldn't say the same thing, right? There's so many ways to not do this.
I still find it hilarious that even we're thinking like, oh, like he could have done this, or he could have done that, he should have done this, he doesn't care.
I know he doesn't care. That's why we're saying this. No, you know why we're saying this is that it's for the excuse crowd.
Right.
It's just his intention. That's the scary part. The scary part is when we start taking serious things lightly. We are taking them lightly. The Bani Israel, we don't have this flaw in our ummah, but the Bani Israel would fall into idolatry all the time. Like literally, they would always fall into. We may fall into heedlessness, other sins, like other sins. We got nationalism. We got other sins at the mass level. Right. The Prophet ﷺ actually, the Prophet ﷺ promised us that we would never, in mass, fall into idolatry. That doesn't mean individuals won't fall into idolatry. Right? And so, but then again, those individuals can increase and decrease.
Yeah. This is like a more egregious case, right, of something that's very like explicitly kufr, and people will still like, oh, was it really kufr or was it not? But you have cases that are less egregious, which, you know, the Sharia has been like pulled really far back, and there's so much of this now that there's confusion on every matter, right? Where, like, is this person who's openly walking with the LGBT community, is he an ally of the Muslims or not? Right? Like you have the Zohran Mamdani guy, right? The New York City the candidate.
What is that guy, by the way? Because like his mom is Hindu.
Yeah.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I don't even know his religion.
I think he's a Shia, right? I think he's a 12 or Shia. He's a 12 or Shia. He's a 12
Honestly,
or Shia.
the true religion of all these of a lot of people is just general liberalism, where the religion, it could be whatever religion you want, and you could do some of it too, but at the end of the day, it's just a relative cultural ritual. And that's what we have to understand. We're talking literally about letter of the law for other Muslims who are watching, who care about these things.
Absolutely.
Right? They themselves could care
We've
less.
adopted personal private practice as the overarching guiding principle. So it's fine. You can do anything in public, but everything you do, as far as your religion is concerned, is a private, personal matter that you take care of at home, and whatever you actually believe, that stays in its box. Everything outside, you can do whatever. You can march with whoever. You can put the garland on whoever. You can advocate for whoever. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but if that's what you're doing, then don't go around saying that you're a Muslim publicly as part of your public identity.
Yeah, they definitely play
don't
both
be
sides.
like-
No, they play both sides.
Yeah, but I have some beef with it because I wasn't born to a Muslim family. I chose this religion as a young adult. And so when people go, well, I'm Muslim because of my heritage, heritage doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be like me walking around saying I'm Catholic because my parents were. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, it's not
Like
identity.
it's what I do and what I actually believe.
Yeah, which is what we insist Judaism is. The Prophet ﷺ said,
This was my point.
When
The
a child
Muslims
is
are
born.
going down that road.
Yeah. And Judaism, they play both sides, that it is a religion and an ethnicity. So when you are against their actions, they say, oh, you're against my ethnicity, right? You're racist. But the Prophet ﷺ makes very clear, Judaism is an intentional belief. It's not an ethnicity. Whereas he said, a child is born, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His parents make him Jewish or Christian or Magian, and in another narration, Muslim. So the kid is a clean, innocent, clean slate, and his parents feed these beliefs into him. And what does it mean to be Jewish, Christian, Muslim? It's the beliefs, right? What you believe about the world.
What was that guy's name? The New York Jew who like became Muslim and then went to Syria, and then he had an interview with Dawkins. You remember his name?
That guy.
Yeah. Oh,
I love that guy.
He was
That's one of
great.
the best interviews ever.
I can't remember, but
So
he
for
was
those-
Something
great,
Cohen,
bro.
right?
It was something Cohen, yeah. So there's
He
this
lives in
guy,
Morocco
yeah.
now, and he's a hardcore medic living in Morocco.
Mashallah.
Doing good for himself.
Yeah, there's a great video out there of
Yeah.
this guy that Richard Dawkins interviews, and the guy is just, he has so much like ghaira for the religion.
Yeah.
Right? He's just like, you know,
Dawkins is expecting apologia, right? For him to be like, oh, we're not like this and we're not like that. And he just goes out.
Muslim at the time or Christian? Jewish?
He was
He was Muslim. He converted at the time.
and still have a store in
yeah,
Palestine.
yeah.
Jerusalem.
It was crazy.
yeah.
We just went guns blazing.
Because
Yeah, he
at one point
destroyed
in
him.
the interview, I think Dawkins says like, you know, do you believe that Muslims are going to take over other lands? And he says, Inshallah.
Yeah. He's like, yes, I believe.
Look
He's
it
like,
up.
yes,
They
I
will.
believe that.
Look
he's
it up.
Like, he's like, I want all the kuffar off the lands of the Muslims.
Just
Search,
put up Cohen, Muslim,
Dawkins,
Jerusalem,
yeah.
Dawkins interview. Something like that.
Cohen,
You know,
Dawkins
Cohen,
interview.
Oh, he
Cohen
did
is
great.
a priestly last
Yeah,
name.
it is.
His family was priests.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The second.
Go to videos.
Go to
Go
videos.
to
Just go to
videos.
YouTube,
Go
actually.
to YouTube, maybe.
Probably will
There,
find
there. Is that the, no, not that
that's
one.
not it. That's
it's
not
like a
it.
It's an
debate.
oh.
Yusuf al-Khattab. That's
Yes,
Al-Khattab.
there you
Oh, I
go.
know who that is.
Oh, he completely destroyed him.
The third
Just
one.
search-
the third one.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's
Yes,
the one.
that's the one.
All right, get it ready, and then when you pull it up, we'll watch this. And we should be able to talk to hear the volume here, by the way. Question here. What was this question here? Our guest is here. We have a guest. Yes, on
Yeah, I saw him
Boycat,
on the
right?
screen.
The
I just saw him
Boycat.
on the
Okay,
screen,
good.
yeah.
We'll have him on in a second. So I was saying, this is actually what makes me more comfortable, believe it or not, with hardcore Orthodox Jews, Hasidic Jews, and Torah Jews, and Christians, like hardcore Christians. It's like what they say is actually what they mean.
Yeah.
When they talk about these things, words matter to them, actions matter to them, and they don't believe that you could have an action, a position or a belief, and then it just has no meaning, and all that matters is the public
The inward.
element of it. Yeah, like the civic element of it.
Yeah.
I actually literally find ourselves to be, in terms of the structure of reality, more in line with them. Even though they're crusaders, they want us dead, and we got issues with them. But
You know where they stand.
I know where he stands. Yeah. And this important thing is not just a mere symbol to them anymore. All right, Ed, let's see this. This is going to be, you guys are going to love
It's
this.
a little. It's
Make
like
sure
it's
the
like 5
volume's
minutes,
up.
but absolutely hilarious.
is-
The volume's off. The volume's off. On
You've
YouTube-
never seen this?
On YouTube itself.
He's seen this. We sent it.
I've
to
seen
him.
it, but I need to see it again. Volume. The TV.
Again and again my conversations come back to the solid walls that religion puts up, back to implacable faiths. My holy book is true, I am right, he is wrong. So I went to meet someone who, in my naivety, I thought might be able to see both sides of the story.
This guy's a sexual predator now, by the
Yusuf
way, right?
al-Khattab used to be called Joseph Cohen, born and brought up as a secular Jew in New York. In 1998 he moved to Gaza as a Jewish settler. But there he discovered
What is
a
he,
different
criminal?
God, Allah.
The CCTV caught him. What?
What I notice coming to this center of world religions, what a lot of hatred religion fosters. I mean, I'm an atheist, and I'm rather gentle. I don't hate people, but it seems to me that I'm hearing hate on all sides, and it seems to me all to do with religion.
I hate atheists because atheists don't care if somebody fornicates in the middle of the street. They don't care if they're women go bouncing around on TV topless. It makes no difference to them. They don't believe in anything. If you don't believe in a set rule and you believe that a constitution can change and you can amend the rules as they go along and you don't believe in God's rule, then what law do you have? You just have man-made laws.
I realized I was in the company of someone who was willingly brought into fundamentalist dogma.
Religion is the basis of morality. What do you think about the September the 11th attacks on New York and the July the 7th attacks in London.
Okay, since you like to speak about evolution, I like to start before. What do you think about the Jews that have destroyed over 417 Arab villages, including all mosques and masjids, which wouldn't affect you because you're an atheist? So what are you saying, that we should sit back and say, oh, you know what, let us progress and let us sit down and drink tea and talk about what to do? I think that's the most ridiculous thing. All I could say is, if there was no quote-unquote state of Israel, there would have been no September 11th.
But if we've all got to live together, it's not going to be helped if there are people of very, very strong faith who simply know they're right and are not amenable to argument. Because there's somebody out there who's just as faithful as you and has his faith just as strong as yours, which is opposite to yours.
You see, the problem is, Richard, I think that you have fear. You know that this party of occupying Muslim lands and polluting society with these evil ideas that are around, it's not going to last forever. There will always be the soldiers of Allah there to give the response to this. So we also want the same thing. All we want is that we want the non-Muslims at this point off the lands of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the lands of Muhammad, we want the kuffar out of it.
Do you want Islam to take over the rest of the world?
Of course I wanted to, and it will. My advice is to clean up your show at home, take your forces off our lands, correct yourselves, fix your society, all right? Fix your women.
Fix your women, that's not my business, that's my women's business.
No, it is your business. It is your business. When you take the women and dress them like whores on the street.
I don't dress women, they dress themselves.
But you allow it as a norm to let the women go on the street dressed like this. What's going on?
Finished. Wrecked.
And we're very worried about you.
What's actually funny is when he released this like 15 years, like whatever, 11 years ago or so. No, 15 years ago.
Clearly, historic injustice towards the Palestinians breeds hatred and anger.
Funny thing is, when he released this like 15 years ago, that was like the height of like new atheism. Yeah, people. There were Muslims that were like scared of Dawkins, and now he's just like a meme.
Oh, he's
like a meme of like just complete intellectual like stupidity. Yep. Right.
Yeah.
By the way, the best part of that clip is he's saying all these things with a New York Jewish accent.
Yeah, New York is the best.
No, he couldn't play games with them. Dawkins tried to play games and angle things, and he basically took the frame that Dawkins made for it. Every single question said, "All right, get the heck this out of here."
You can't win in a verbal tough tussle with the New Yorker.
You can't.
The problem that most people have with these debates is that they try to frame themselves. This is the thing we've been talking about for most of the episode. They try to fit themselves into the Western liberal secular model and be like, no, we're not that bad. We just like I heard Sheikh No say once. He was like, some of these Muslims go around going, oh, we're the same as like Presbyterians. They said we put our hats on when we go in our church instead of taking them off.
We literally, that's what we discussed yesterday. This inferiority complex that people have, and they want to say we're just the same. But hold on, if any brand that you love, you want to differentiate your brand, not make it the same. And Dawkins, I'm even surprised he put this up.
Yeah.
Like
but he thought it was a win for him.
He thought it was
a win.
He was like, look at this extremist.
Now it's like, you know.
It aged the exact opposite way. They both actually went the opposite way because even Christians would be like, yeah, tell us the truth. Just say, the Christians believe the same thing. Jews believe these same things. That's not a measure of what makes it right.
I think now Dawkins is on this new thing that he believes that religion is important and that we should. But he only culturally important.
Christianity, though.
Yeah, but only Christianity.
Yeah,
right?
But just in a ritualistic way, right? Oh, like Christmas,
like the music, the architecture, all these things that grew out of Christianity.
Because he realized that their entire culture is nothing without Christianity.
Of course.
And there's no preservation of culture without the religion. So if they get rid of that, he has nothing.
I mean, maybe eventually he'll evolve far enough where he'll realize that European religion was nothing without Islam, having brought them out of the Dark Ages.
Can you even talk these days? Because he made fun of like mentally ill kids, and he made fun of. He said, if you have someone asked him, if I'm pregnant with a child who has a disability, should I get rid of it? Right? Should I abort it? He said, yeah, abort it. Stuff like that. He's sort of on the outs. No one really even quotes him anymore.
Yeah.
That was a great video. What do you have? Oh, the guest is here. All right, Alif, bring on our guest. We have Dr. Adil, who, Is that brother or doctor? Oh, that's a B. Okay, so I'll have less respect for him.
Downgraded him already.
Poor guy just got downgraded right live on the stream. Okay, so brother Adil, make sure everyone decrease your respect mode. Okay. Brother Adil is here, and he has done a great job on this app. And Edif, while we talk, if you can bring in screenshots of the app or whatever you have on the website, bring him on. The app is called Boycott. Brother Adil Abu Talha, welcome. Where are you talking from, brother? Where are we?
Hopefully the respect is on the floor at this point. But,
no, your respect is for your action too. Forget your doctors. A lot of idiots who are doctors.
I actually respect him more because he didn't do a PhD.
Yeah.
Honestly. No, alhamdulillah, I'm in Southern California right now. So I'm at home for at least a month now, which is a super long time for me.
So Southern California is your home, or you're not going to college there?
No. I'm out of college, alhamdulillah.
Okay, which part of Southern California? San Diego?
Orange County.
Orange County. That's where our friend, what is it called? Dardir Institute is there. Sheikh Dardir Institute is there, right? In Orange County. Yeah, Imam Dardir Institute is there in Orange County. In any event, tell us about your app.
Oh man, where do you want me to start? I'm going to assume zero context completely, but basically the TLDR is like, when everything in Gaza was happening, it's just like, what can anyone around the world actually do? Yeah. And I think it really just started out with like, dude, every email, petition, protest, like none of it was working. And so I was like, why does it feel like we're talking to a brick wall?
Yeah.
And I think the reality was like, it dawned on me, like, we're not speaking the same language as these politicians, these corporations, these governments. They speak the language of money and we don't. Yeah. And until we do, we're never going to have a seat at the table where decisions are made. And so, 3 weeks after everything happened, October 7th, honestly, like post the Hajj one night, I had a dream, super, super cheesy, but I just saw the next 5-6 years of my life and I was like, I got this entire thing going and I decided to do it. And I want to solve this idea of helping people realize their purchasing power. Because if you could realize someone's purchasing power and unite them in a collective way, then you could have a lot of influence. Like imagine you had 30 to 40 million people that you could tell them, buy this, don't buy this. Go to this company, don't buy from this company, and so on from there. You could literally go to small companies and corporations and be like, look, if you don't change your stance on this issue, on Philistine, whatever it is, we can tell 30 million people to never buy from you again. And that's going to tank your microeconomy aspect of things, right? You could do that. You could literally affect economies of like small countries for the most part. And so like that was the mission. I was like, how can I do that objectively from a product's perspective? Because with technology, you can amplify, anything globally. Like this is the first live stream genocide ever, right? Yeah. This is the first time that you have people that would normally never care about these things because of the power of tech. And so I wanted to solve 3 problems with this idea of Boycat as a whole. Is like, one, can you provide education without relying on the media? Because the moment the media ends or it's biased or it's silenced, I mean, like TikTok's a great example recently. People, you lose it on people like that would care and can influence and join this movement. The second was, can you provide the alternative? Because realistically, we don't need to rely on these 9 conglomerates that own everything in the world. Like we can build alternatives. Build mainstreams.
Who are those 9?
The big ones that we all know about are like, Amazon, the owners of Nestle, like Unilever, for example, they own like 100 and something different brands that we buy from a daily basis and just a food basis. You got things like Oracle and their parent companies and subsidiaries that just own basically all of the media at this point. And it's the ones that you can think of on a daily basis, 90% of what you touch is owned by like basically 9 companies. And then the third thing was like,
that small. Okay.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. And then the third thing is like, can you change someone's behavior? Because consumerism is habitual, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whatever it is. I really hope that you're testing it out. I hope it works.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm testing it out. Problem is, the only product I have was an Arabic book, which is not scanning. So let's try to scan one of Imam al-Ghazali Institute's books.
Try this water.
Hopefully it works on that.
Okay, give me the water. Let's see. So I guess we're going to throw it out.
Distributed by Walmart. So let's see.
Barcode found. Hooray. This product is compliant with all your campaigns. Primal Spirit Food Inc. Great value purified drinking water. Okay. Very good.
That should not be okay one. So
wait, how should I report it as an error?
You should report it as an error, but I don't know if you have an account right now, so it might not.
I need to open an account. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the reason we do all the account stuff is because we get a bunch of Zionists reporting us every single day.
You're kidding.
Well, I get death threats on the daily at this point. But
you're kidding. Well, what stops Zionists from making accounts?
Nothing really. But what can happen is that we can, if they create an account, like they give us some sort of information, and because of they don't want to do that because
that's like they can't fake the information.
Yeah. You can to an extent, but we have different algorithms inside that track and check everything as well. So it works on the end. But yeah, with Boycat, we wanted you to be able to scan and search for brands, but I think beyond that, it was provide education to people, right?
Yeah.
So I think even one of the posts that you end up sharing on social media was one of our education pieces, like can we educate people about brands and products and ties and so on from there. And that was the goal, is like, can you create something as like a cultural movement that's really fun, like that's like almost like a Duolingo for shopping in a sense, like that brand style, and then mix it with like actual action and alternatives and so on from there. And we did a really good job of that for the first year. I mean, within the first couple months, long story short, taught myself how to code in November, built app December, launched it January. And within 2 months, we were on Al Jazeera. Like, it was pretty cool.
Tell me how do you get your information?
So
do you manually have to do it?
We buy a bunch of databases, basically, of barcodes around the world, and we just store all that data ourselves. The problem is that there's no universal barcode, like industry. And so you have to grab from a bunch of different sources, and sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're right. There's no like criteria. So for example, someone in Kenya could open up a store and create a barcode that's the exact same as like that Walmart water bottle, for example. And we'd have to figure out how to like geolocate and figure out the right one to tap into. And the second part is really just about the brand's information. So like there's a bunch of different ways we try to verify things. One, we're actually the only official ever partner of BDS, like as a technology partner. And we did that strategically to, one, gain trust, but also use them as a movement to like really move the mission forward. And so we partner with them on like information, verifying like the most complicit companies. We use like Who Profits, the UN, and so on from there. But then on top of that, we have the power to do things a bit faster, because at a snap of a finger, I can send a push notification out to like, we have like 3 million people. So I think around like 600, 700,000 have notifications on. I could reach 700,000 people and tell them about like Vercel, for example, or Oracle buying TikTok, or just newer things that you see all these ties and how deeply integrated our cousins are in the entire industry. And so it's important for us to be able to like have the power of technology to expand that way. So on top of that, we also use community sourcing, because I think you have different people that are very, very passionate about, human rights violations as a whole, and they all want to contribute. And now there's finally a platform that allows them to like put their research into one place, and then we can expand it past Philistine as well too.
How many users do you have so far?
I think we at 3.1 right now, 1 million.
Million, that's great.
Yeah.
And how many continents are the products scanning? Like all throughout the world, globally. Or North America?
We work globally, alhamdulillah. I think our biggest user bases are usually wherever I end up traveling to, speaking at, and having like hubs. And so the biggest ones are obviously the US. UK is massive, and then I was in Qatar, Egypt, Turkey as like another hub, and then Malaysia, Indonesia are our next biggest users. That's
huge. And so you got 3.1 million, and that means what's the technology look like behind this thing?
It's quite simple, honestly. I mean, like it's nothing crazy. We try using the most clean sources and clean technology as possible, because it'd be kind of hypocritical if we were to use like Google's Firebase, for example. But at certain points, like the only things you can use, you have to use. And like everyone has an iPhone, everyone has an Android. I mean, they're both technically complicit to some extent, but our goal is, can we do more good than the bad that we're using from them, basically, and then eventually move off to the alternatives.
So how much has Larry Ellison purchased, and how did he purchase TikTok even? Like why would China get rid of that? Why would China unload that?
Well, I think it's a multi-part plan, actually. It's been in the works for a long time. I think the big thing is, if China didn't let go of some part to create TikTok US, then they wouldn't be able to operate in US. And the US is a large money market where, I mean, things like TikTok Shop, for example, take off like crazy. The ads take off like crazy. Like that's just what it is, right? It's like at the end of the day, it's like, can we still make money? And for China, for example, it's like that doesn't really matter. Like they do care about things in Philistine. They do care about, you know, censorship to some extent, and like they have their own censorship. But like at the end of the day, if they're getting money, they're going to get money, and that's what we learn about things, right? It's like the Vercel CEO didn't just post a selfie with Netanyahu for fun. It's like I think he posted yesterday. They had the largest amount of signups, paid signups in the past year. Like
paid signups, you said?
Yeah, paid signups in the past like year or something. And that's crazy because you saw the outrage of like millions and millions of people talking about it. They were all getting off of Vercel, going to Replit or Cloudflare or something, for example. But it's still profitable to be on the side of genocide still, right? And so then same with TikTok and like someone from there. It's like TikTok wasn't done strictly because like, you know, they wanted to like blacklist or block everyone that was talking about Palestine and stuff. But TikTok was one of the few platforms where like the truth about Palestine actually went viral. And like that was the one place they didn't have control over, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like filtered by mainstream media. It wasn't like buried under propaganda. It was just like raw humans like showcasing what was really going on. And I think what was really interesting was that it showed that if they can't win an argument, they would just buy the microphone and just speak louder than you and you know, put a shadow over or whatever else you're doing. Because it's like, it's not deletion, right? They're not deleting anything. They're just making things disappear.
And if put that video up the screenshot of, let people see while we're talking, what the app looks like on the inside. All right. So what is the competitive set that you're in? There is the No Thanks app. What else is there, and how are they different from one another?
I think the easiest, so there are a couple of things. There's like No Thanks, it's Occupy, there's Badnash, and there's a couple of different things around the world. Like people all create different projects. I think what's really interesting is that the simplest way of differentiating is the fact that I think we are the only product and everything else is a project. What I mean by that is we're creating a way to be self-sustainable beyond myself and beyond the team. So if something happens to us, it's like the product will live, but everything else is more like a volunteer project. And I think all nonprofits and all volunteer projects, it's really hard to keep going for a long time. I'm personally not a believer in the fact that you should rely on someone else to put food on your table. I think you need to create a way to sustain and create a way to move. And that's what we're doing, right? It's like we're creating a product that will outlive us no matter what.
So you want to tell us about how you structured that?
Yeah. So it's basically built into two parts. We have the media, we have the project, we have the information piece that we've really built really well for the past year. And the past year, we've been building the alternative stream. And so the way to do that is to not make the users or make the people that are trying to support the cause feel like they have to pay to support us to win. Like that's what it is. Our goal is, can we just give you everything you use on a daily basis as an alternative that's clean or more clean than what you're using, so it doesn't end up funding the thing. Like the reality is like 5% of people care about Philistine, for example, or like the Uyghurs or Sudan or Congo. And then 5% of people hate you no matter what. But can you get the average Joe walking down the street to use your product and to use the more clean alternative? Because what that will do is end up, as a result, boycotting the main thing. And so for what we did with that is, how can we create a business model regarding that? It's like, one, well, ads are great. You can take all the clean businesses, give ads to them, and then they can promote their product, and then we can drive traffic to them. The second is it's affiliate, right? It's like if we can help you drive a sale, give us a small cut. Like you don't lose anything, you actually get more sales.
Yeah.
But I think the really, really cool part that we're building right now is it's a term I coined, and I actually bought the domain for this, but it's called the Digital Silk Road. Because I've been able to create a bunch of hubs in like the US, UK, Middle East, North Africa, Southeast Asia, and so on from there. If someone had a problem or a really cool product in Australia, I could ship through the Boycat ecosystem and distribute it around the entire trading route that I have right now. And that's it. And like to prove it works properly, we have to like do it ourselves. And physical stuff, like for example, Malaysia has some really good cosmetic alternatives, and you could take over L'Oreal and everything in Europe so quickly. They just don't have distribution of that. Like Warda Beauty, CAF, like all those things like owned by Paragon, they are just as good as every mainstream like European cosmetic brand. And like we've seen it within our products. I mean, we've divested, I think, 350 million as of today from like companies that support Israel and like Israeli economy. And a large chunk of that has been cosmetics and makeup and stuff. And so we want to move in that direction of physical products. But the other chunk is technology. And so to prove that it worked out, we, ended up doing research into what industry to break into and stuff like that. And we built our own VPN. It's called a Boycat VPN. And that was really important because, one, it creates us a self-sustainable profit model. So we can create a product that everyone uses on a daily basis. And two, we can protect user data. And three, we can showcase that if you build something really cool in our system, we can distribute it globally, make it sustainable, and you can do it. And all you really need is build a cool product and we'll handle the rest. Like, that's what it is. And that's kind of the model we've been building. It's like, it doesn't require effort from your end. It just, use the system and you'll be good.
How did you calculate how much losses you caused?
It's pretty, so I have a data science background, and that's kind of where it came from. From the beginning, I was like, all right, one, we need to track scans, we need to track searches, we need to track behavior and people purchasing stuff, and so on from there. Mm-hmm. And so what happened, the quick, easy answer is we basically take the first time you look at something, like just say you scan Coca-Cola, you get a no, don't do this. And then eventually you'll get a survey saying, did you buy Coca-Cola and how much did you used to buy it? How much do you buy it after getting the information, and so on from there. And we start tracking, if you bought it 5 times a week or something in the past, now you only buy it 1 time a week, we're able to track that amount. But what's really interesting is that we don't track it repeatedly because we don't know your behavior in the future. And so we just track that one moment of that qualitative survey we give you, or that basic average search history, or basic average consumer buying history that we've done research on. And we just take the lowest amount possible and say we've divested X amount from the entire thing. In reality, the ceiling could be a lot higher because people's behaviors change in the future. We just don't track it or record it because that's not genuine.
So you actually have 2 products. You got the Boycat, but you also have the VPN.
Yeah, so I guess you can call it Boycat and then Boycat. So the Boycat aspect is how you avoid things, and then the Boycat ecosystem is how you buy things.
So tell us about, so Boycat is another app, or how does that work exactly?
No. So Boycat is an umbrella, and then just Boycat is just an arm of the entire thing, right? So when we tell you what to avoid, we try showing you alternatives, or we try showing you products you can buy instead. So we even have a mini affiliate marketplace that we have up and running right now, where it's like, if you're looking for, cola alternatives, we partner with Pasta and Cola to get you a discount. We partnered with for example, Nominal, if you're looking for jewelry, because a lot of the jewelry industry is owned by them. Mm-hmm. Can you, partner with this company, get a fat discount, and then that way it's easier for anyone to buy the alternative as well too.
Okay, so you don't have your own VPN out there that people could download?
We do. It's within the Boycat app already, but it's also
within the app. Okay.
It's also within the desktop platform as well. We'll have our own standalone app in a bit, but we just launched this past month actually.
Oh, okay, so there, I see it. VPN on the side. It says they're introducing the Boycat VPN. Protect your privacy, bypass restrictions, and browse safely with our premium VPN service. Alex, Saad, Muin, what do you have to say? You have any comments or?
Good.
No, mashallah, this is excellent. It's good to see Muslims who have a skill or a competency apply it to something useful rather than just another company making the same products, selling the same stuff, just trying to make a buck.
Yeah, I mean, we're told that use all of your might for the akhirah, and don't forget some of your dunya. And unfortunately, the way of the world today is that you spend 10 hours at work every day, between going and preparing and driving and dressing and all that stuff. And who has time for the akhirah? But when you make your work related to the akhirah, then you start living a more satisfied life. Yeah, right.
Oh, this is great. Ultimately, it'd be awesome to see. Remember how the right wing started creating its own platforms as soon as they started getting deplatformed from YouTube. Yeah. They created Rumble, and Substack came up to as an alternative to Medium. So it'd be good to see a Muslim ecosystem for all this stuff, where you would typically get completely banned or censored on normal platforms. Have our own platforms where you could do this stuff. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and I think he mentioned one thing about the whole tech stack, right? Which is it's nice to hear, right, that you're attempting at least to the best of we have certain limitations with certain providers and platforms and stuff. Everybody has to use Android and Google, as you said. But it's nice to hear that you're trying to avoid at least certain platforms and tech stacks which are fundamentally pro-Zionist, like Vercel, etc.
Yeah.
So that's nice to see. I hope to see one day a world where we kind of control our own stacks and technology and platforms. So that whole area is kind of, we don't have to rely on others.
See, the thing is that in order to actually be effective, it's got to be generic. Like, when people go to Truth Social, no one's getting convinced of anything. You're not getting exposed to anything because you're there on Truth Social because you already have the belief. And the trick is to create a neutral, at this point, to create a neutral platform that everyone's going to be on, and then you don't censor the truth. Right? That's like where we're at right now. Because if someone created a Muslim social media, how does that benefit the outside world? In other words, right?
That's why TikTok was so powerful and why the Zionists were so upset about it. So it's a neutral platform. Mm-hmm. Everybody young was on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of, I would say even the majority of the people that were doing pro-Palestinian content were not Muslim or Palestinian.
Mm-hmm.
So it had the effect that it should have had, and it's why there was such a concerted effort to shut that, to turn to turn it down.
Yeah.
That was like, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I mean, I think the big key thing here is like, I think I mentioned this quite a bit often as well too, but it's like, we need more Muslims building, or we don't need more Muslims building Muslim products. We need more Muslims building product.
Yeah.
And what that means is we don't need more, like, we have like really good prayer apps, we have really good Quran apps, we have really good stuff. But like, as long as you build a product and people know that you're Muslim with those Muslim values, like, and it's neutral in that sense, like that's how you like succeed. It's not like you build something specific, because it's like if all of us were in a room together and we're like, oh, let's make sure we care about Palestine. We already all care about Palestine. Like, it's not going to change anyone's behavior or change the mass majority of people's opinion. And so that's why things like TikTok were so useful. It's because you could reach that 90% in the middle that just didn't know or something.
Tell me about your reactions, these death threats and all that. That's
whenever Allah wants me to go, like that, I'll go. Like, basically, like that's the reality. It's like,
how does that actually happen? Like, you get a strange text, death threats in the past. Like, how does it actually occur?
Outside the Twitter DMs are the funniest ones, because it's always like, the random bot accounts from like India or Turkey or something like that. It's like the funny ones.
Oh, like that, yeah.
But then you also get like the random texts that come in. You always get like if I'm speaking at a certain place, you get a certain message of like, it's like, oh, I wonder how the security is at this place and so on from there. I think it's just like, you got to be a little careful to some extent.
Yeah, text would be far more, alarming than than a Twitter
It's like the
DM.
doxing part. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, anything else you have to say?
No, just mashallah, it looks like a great thing that you're doing, and just, keep at it.
Yeah, it's great work. Let us know how we can, if you ever have a campaign or anything, send it over to Omar or Alif, and we'll put it up and share it. So everybody, you could download the app. I just downloaded it. I'll make myself an account, and then next time I get something, we'll see. We'll. How many things are boycotted? I wonder. How many companies?
A lot.
A lot. All of them. I was like almost everything, right?
There's different levels in there, though. We partner with BDS to create 3 levels. So you can choose whatever your capacity to boycott is, and then go from there.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Good work.
And honestly, I appreciate
Allah give you
it.
tawfiq. Inshallah.
All right. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Take it. Wa alaikum assalam. Muin, you take over for a second. I have to step outside for a second.
Am I supposed
You're
to?
taking over, bro.
He's taking over, bro.
Start the Q&A.
Sheikh Muin.
Yeah.
Astaghfirullah. This gotta stop.
All those study.
Voluntelling.
Stop.
Q&A.
Oh, man.
Answer some questions, Sheikh.
No, astaghfirullah. I'm not going to be answering any questions here.
Questions
I'll
do we have?
leave these for Dr. Shadee. We can answer some questions that are unrelated to
Any
rulings?
questions?
Yeah, any
we can handle. I should seat it so I'm not at least looking normal here. Alif will have to deal with
Dunkin'
that.
Donuts.
All right, so let's see what's going on here. Do you think it will be right or comfortable? There's a lot here.
No, just read them out loud blindly, bro.
Okay, how about
the
those?
super chats? He was joking.
Don't do that.
He was joking.
Should Muslims continue to boycott since the people of Gaza are finally free again?
Ooh,
Are they free?
What? Are they free?
No, they're not. They're not free.
Yeah.
Occupation continues.
Yeah.
And until it ends, until there's justice, we boycott.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm
If
not
you
sure if
couldn't
you
hear
heard
it.
in the background, until the occupation continues, you continue to boycott, right? I mean, it's not like it's over.
Yeah, I mean, with the ceasefire, even if carried out fully as intended, it's just going to stop the wholesale slaughter of Muslims in Gaza at the moment. It has nothing to do with freeing the people of Palestine. Palestine is still occupied land. There are still settlements everywhere. There are still restrictions on Palestinians that don't exist for non-Palestinians. There's still continued land theft, both in Gaza and the West Bank. There is still an apartheid system in place. There's still a binary way that foreign media treats Palestinians and Israelis. So Palestine is not free.
I suppose even if it was free, if you're not boycotting certain companies, you're still funneling dollars into the pockets of these institutions, these organizations, and that's just going to go back to continuing the occupation and aggression. So,
additionally, the most urgent companies on the boycott lists are people who are actively supporting the Holocaust that occurred in Gaza. So these people should never be off of the list. They're punished. They're boycotted forever. They're not. There's no coming back from it. We're not gonna be like.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're not gonna be like these like Jews in Hollywood that buy like Volkswagen and Mercedes and companies that were complicit in the 1930s and 40s problems that happened.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say the boycott began way before.
That's correct.
Before this,
the boycott.
yeah.
There's specific demands on the BDS website that, of course, have not been fulfilled, right? So, like a state for the Palestinians, end to the apartheid system, end to the occupation. Those things have not been fulfilled, and until they are, we're going to keep on.
Yeah. Okay. So next question we have from Nafiz. So, Sheikh Muin, should we have more women participation in the podcast space for better representation? So, first of all, this Sheikh thing that Dr. Shadee has started, not a Sheikh, not an Ustad, please, he's saying that as a joke. I don't want anybody to take this seriously.
Teaching fiqh?
I teach some kids Sira and fiqh. I'm not a Sheikh, I'm just a guy. Now, should we have more women participation in the podcast space? Alex will be handling that question.
Okay. No.
No.
Should I elaborate?
Go for it.
Sure.
Dr. Shaddy's not
Sure.
here. We can get in
So
trouble.
this is a small room, small location with
Tight spaces.
a lot of men, both married and unmarried, and it would not be appropriate for us to be commingling in this space. However, if women,
Podcasting generally, not this space
Oh.
that we're in right now. Physical
yeah, I mean, women can do whatever they want. Why is that a question for us? We're not the podcast police. We don't fund podcasting. We don't sell podcast equipment at a discount or otherwise.
Even if we said no, nobody could stop anyone. So
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like asking if there's a need for more women in social media spaces. They're there. If women want to set up a podcast, they can. If they're successful with it, then that's what they've achieved their goal. And if it's not successful, it's not. I don't know what that has to do with this podcast, though.
I think that was just Nafiz trying to rile you up.
I mean, I'm not riled up, but Nafiz,
He wanted
Nafiz
Muin's
can purchase
answers.
podcast equipment and donate it to struggling female podcasts if he chooses.
Muin's thoughts on Sora 2. So
Line by line.
Huh?
Line by line.
What do you mean line by line?
Surah Baqarah, right?
So, no, not Sura 2, Sora 2.
Open AI,
The
the video model.
So for anyone unfamiliar, Sora 2 is the video generation tool that OpenAI released. So I guess you're asking about my thoughts about it. I mean, it's impressive for what it is. If you probably have seen a lot of the videos out now, they look far more realistic than before. They also created like a Sora app essentially, where you can watch like AI slop videos, and they're like basically memes. So instead of like scrolling TikTok and scrolling Facebook Reels and YouTube Reels, you can now scroll AI generated Reels made with Sora 2. Is that good for humanity? Probably not.
It's going to lead to some of the most disgusting and vile things ever.
Yeah, what's interesting?
What's more concerning now is that OpenAI said they're removing the restrictions on their models soon with age verification. So you'll be able to produce whatever you want, whatever kind of content, graphic content. And so that's kind of crazy because they were essentially saying we're not going to do this for a long time, but now it's the double whammy of we're going to verify your age, so we'll get your face on video, on camera, so we can surveil you, and we'll unrestrict this app. So it'll be tied to you.
Yeah, what Saad means by that is I think they announced that in December they're going to allow like erotica and NSFW things on ChatGPT. So you'll be able to basically, have your own personal companion.
The image generation too.
And image generation is too. Now, so you as like a, just an individual user will be able to chat and have intimate, explicit conversations with your chatbot. Now, their defense and argument, and to some degree, it probably does make sense, where when you censor, basically when they say that when they censor the model, it actually weakens the model for everybody else. Like, for example, if you're talking about genocide and you're talking about certain areas, you can impact the model in other areas too. So they're saying that by allowing...
Well, censorship is an ideological... it's going to be an ideological thing to determine what to censor and what not to censor. It's going to be based on certain values. So... once they say we're not going to allow certain things, and they're already basically shepherding the model into a direction where you can speak about certain things or you can talk to it about certain things and not other things. They're making that determination. So I guess their argument is that, well, we're removing this, and now you can talk to it about whatever you want, but that includes vile things. As we would qualify them.
Yeah, I mean, these types of video generation tooling has been around for a while now. It's just getting more and more advanced. So now it's getting into, I think what's more concerning to me than the NSFW stuff is the fact that now all like video evidence, it's coming to a point where there's still
eyewitness testimony, baby.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of slop, but it's certainly getting much closer to reality. So now, you can put somebody in a compromising position. You can say that somebody was somewhere. You can deny that somebody was.
You can lease out your likeness to be used in videos, and people will do that. I mean, Sam Altman has the Cameo where you can use his image in videos, and people have where they basically just it's like him inside of AI generated videos, and other people are going to do that too. They're going to be like, you can use my likeness. In whatever video you want for a price.
Yeah, there's this whole argument around allowing AI video and AI image generation for pedophiles, right? And that's why that's one of the reasons why they want.
That's what I was talking about.
That's one of the reasons why they want to open this up, because there's this moral gray area with regards to pedophiles, and it's like, okay, if we now give them an outlet for their strange inclinations, will this now make the world safer for everybody else?
No.
Alex is really
no, because they're still going to physically abuse children.
Yeah. Of course.
And in fact, the more access they have to this pornography is only going to make them more degenerate. So no, the ease of access to child pornography is not going to reduce child attacks on children. It's not, because these people aren't just into watching stuff; they're into doing stuff.
It might even inflame it. It's like when the government passes out clean needles to drug addicts, and they're like, "This is going to reduce drugs on the street." And it's like, you're giving out clean needles; it's probably going to increase drug usage.
I mean, absolutely not. The proper solution, of course, is extermination. It should be a capital offense.
No. This is
the OG Safina crew. There's no censorship here.
Censored version here.
No, so anyway, it should be a capital offense.
There you go.
Plain and simple. I've seen people get less time for selling an illegal product to adults who want that illegal product and are making a conscious, rational decision to use it than people who abuse children. It's nuts. Our society has it all backwards.
It's absolutely bananas. All right, well, that was a good turn. Let's see. What else do we have on Q&A here? Covered protests, Gaza, covered all that stuff. Let me see. Anything interesting? Oh, somebody did ask. I'll put in a plug. Where do you teach, Muin? I'll put in a plug specifically because it's for Safina. So I teach for kids. I teach Sura for kids for Safina Society on the ArcView platform.
ArcView.com?
So I think, it's arcview.org, right? It's arcview.org. And then I believe it's part of the Essentials program. So if you just, the absolute lowest subscription, if you do that, my class is included for free. The goal is to get as many kids we can as part of it. So I teach Sira for kids, and through the Sira, we also teach Tarbiyah. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? I don't even know what happened to Dr. Shadee.
He left. He's gone. He's just like, here's the keys.
He's the keys. You
guys
say
run
whatever
it.
you want. Okay.
How long do these usually go?
I don't know.
We actually have to wrap up soon.
Okay, then let's.
We have to wrap up with Muin, inshallah.
All right, then we'll do it with him. Yeah.
Can you clarify the ijazah the Prophet gave to Waraka to lead prayers? I see people claiming women can lead prayers, lead anyone in salah. Okay, so
that's been addressed by ulama.
Yeah,
they can research it.
Yeah, this has been addressed. Time and time over. You could do a very quick Google search. The fact that people are claiming that women can lead anyone in salah. I mean,
mixed gatherings,
like mixed gatherings. Like it's the fact that you see some people now having women leading men in salah. I mean, this is just liberalism.
It's just
liberalism seeping over. You can go listen to our 10-year-old episodes, and we covered those in depth.
I think your brother wanted some actual thing, but that's fine.
What thing?
Just look it up.
The actual details of that incident, I don't know.
Yeah. Probably not qualified to speak on it right now.
The brief overview is that there was a. Allah, I don't want to.
Yeah,
it's too long to cover.
Yeah. Ask that when Dr. Shadee is here.
How could the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam pray for the Najasi after he died if he did not rule by the laws of Islam? So, I can answer this, I guess, generally. So, according to the scholars of Sira, the Najasi did convert to Islam, right? But he just converted in secret, right? So there's the whole story about him writing the Shahada, and then he put it on a piece of paper and he said, I believe in this, right? So there's an entire story in which the Najasi converted to Islam, like, in secret. And so the other people didn't know, but he was a Muslim.
Also, nobody's saying we're not going to pray janazah for Sadiq Khan, or that you shouldn't.
Say that again?
So nobody's saying that we shouldn't pray janazah for Sadiq Khan if you want to. I think this is the origin of this question.
Should you pray janazah?
I think the origin of this question is the Sadiq Khan discussion.
He already dead?
No, he didn't die yet. He's saying, should you
when he
dies, should you pray janazah for him?
Sure.
Look, if he returns to Islam, then yeah.
This is. I think this is like a comparison.
Oh, I see.
Right. I mean,
because he's a ruler and he didn't rule by. He was ruling a non-Muslim nation and he didn't rule by Sharia. So.
But this is a different example, right? The Najasi wasn't a Muslim, and then he became a Muslim. This was a Muslim who then, decided to put a garland on Ganesh. And I don't think it's the same, comparison here. Khair. Any others? So, like I said, I don't want to take fiqh questions here. You can ask those when Dr. Shadee gets back. Why does this gentleman look suspiciously like Dr. Shadee? Because I've been around Dr. Shadee for almost.
He adopted his aesthetic.
Years, so all of us see these have adopted his aesthetic over the years. Did Dr. Shadee really leave? No, he's here.
He's here.
He's
there back.
So he's back now. Like, everybody be quiet. We didn't say anything controversial.
Doc, Muin was giving fatwas out here.
What do you say?
Mufti Muin.
By the way, we have. There's a live stream on. There's a live stream that we have to head on. Ash'ari and Athari Aqidah live stream with Sheikh Ahmed Mitwali and Sheikh John Starling. That's coming up in a second, so you guys could sit in on that if you want. Muin, since you're so good at Arabic, could you
No,
find
I'm
me
not-
the chapter on Kalamullah in that book? Because that's
I'm
what's
not
so.
good at it. You need to stop this. People
And I
people
need a
take you
bookmark.
seriously.
I need a
Let's start
bookmark
asking
on that,
things.
and I need a bookmark on Taqbih and Tahsin.
What do you want me to find? Afterwards, I'll find.
Kalamullah and Tahsin and Taqbih. For everybody who's here, whoa, why is abusing children one of the. What were you guys talking about?
You'll find out.
You'll find out.
Somebody asked Muin about AI image generation.
Yeah.
Oh, like that. Because that is a moral question now, right? If pedophiles, get excited by
Images
that are not real, is that morally right or wrong? Are they going to say slippery slope? Because if they introduce a slippery slope here, we can bring it in many other places too. Hey, Edif, share with everybody this. We're going to be going live. Everybody, you can hop over to this channel, and
I might have to call it.
where are you going? You can hop over to this channel.
You working today?
Okay.
I have to pray.
I'll pray. You go ahead. Yeah.
You want me to share the stream here? Is it a chat or?
What's that?
This is for us to join or for?
We're going to join this after we close our stream. Yeah.
I have to head out. Inshallah, Fazl will take over.
Yeah. All right. Who's going to take over, Fuzz?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop here. Thank you all very much. And this was supposed to be on our 500th episode. To have Muin and Alex and Saad back. Thank you guys for coming. And you guys should actually come once a month. Because you guys are in, IT and stuff? So you don't actually have to be at work, right? You don't even have to work. So bring your computer and come once a month. Okay? All right, folks. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. ما شاء الله. أهلا كده جماعة.
يا شيخ نقديني هذا الحكوى.
Sorry, Saidi.